he's getting a little bit fussy now, so I'm just gonna hold him up and kind of, you know, oh, look at this little human being, he's just perfect. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jojo and today I'm sharing my baby boy's birth story with you guys. If you guys are new to my channel, please like and subscribe and let's get into the video. FYI, this video is going to get a little bit TMI, so a little bit too much information. If you don't want to know about it, or you haven't had a baby, or it grosses you out, or for whatever reason you don't want to know about like the fun facts of actually having a baby, being pregnant, all those things, it's not a clean process, so I urge you guys maybe just to not watch this or whatever, okay? But that's just a heads up, just in case. I was trying to like quietly, discreetly hide the fact that my baby boy was just feeding right then, because you know us moms, we're multitaskers, so I thought why not just feed him at the same time as talking to you guys. So if you guys are aware of who I am and you follow me on Instagram, I've just had my third baby and today I wanted to introduce you guys to him and share with you guys all about his birth story. Something really exciting, it was actually his due date today, which is the 14th of September. I'm not quite sure when I'll get around to posting this video, but he arrived 10 days early, so we are into day 10 with him and so far so good. Okay, so we're gonna go back 10 days. Today we're Saturday. We're gonna go back 10 days, which was a Tuesday, and that day I had an appointment with my midwife in the morning, and before I went to go to her, she's about half an hour out, so she lives across the state line. That morning I had my bloody show basically, so I had quite a bit of, like at least a glob of blood come out when I went to the bathroom in the morning, and I was thinking, that usually means that I'm going to go into labor in the next day or two. At least that's how it went with my first two. I was very aware of that signal, that was usually the indication of delivery very soon. I was only 38 weeks and 3 days pregnant, so like I felt like I was ready, but I didn't think it was going to happen because I was around a lot of people whose babies were overdue, and I was thinking, well, that's just going to be me as well. I always think that whenever something else is happening to somebody. And I sat down and I told her that I had my bloody show that morning, and she was like, right, okay, then we probably shouldn't schedule your next appointment because you're probably going to go into labor in the next day or two. I'd been feeling little niggles and cramps and the things that you feel pretty much throughout that late duration of just waiting. So that night was like a mad rush of getting things together. I went to Walmart, I arranged the boys, I arranged my bags, like I just got everything ready, and I was like in mad organizing mode because I was like, it's gonna happen soon. That morning I had also told my husband, babe, I've had my bloody show, you need to get ready, you need to prepare because I know my body and I think this is it. I think this is gonna happen either tonight or in the next couple of days. So he stayed behind at work and he worked till 1 o'clock in the morning, and before you guys are like, what? That's not unusual. He's kind of his own boss, so he has to put in the hours. I think that kind of made me a little bit unsettled as well, that he wasn't at home. I wasn't quite able to relax as much as I should have been able to, I think. So I think that might have like halted the process a little bit. So the morning kicked in, we're about 5:30 and I felt a contraction, and I was like, that's not a cramp, I know that is a legitimate contraction. 30 minutes passed, I got it again. 15 minutes passed, I got it again. Now the thing about these contractions in the morning, this was Wednesday morning, is things weren't really progressing. They were here and there for 15 minutes, half an hour. But I'm thinking, okay, my body moves really fast, and if I have any kind of contraction, things are gonna pick up, they're gonna pick up fast, and I'm gonna birth this baby quick. That's what happened with my other two. My labors were pretty much in the kind of 5-hour mark. So I was like, well, I don't want to take any chances just in case I end up giving birth at 8 o'clock in the morning. I called my husband's mom in the morning. This was about 5:30, 6 o'clock. She came over, she helped get the boys ready for school that morning and took them off to school. So the boys were covered at least. As the day was going by, nothing was kind of happening. I was having little contractions here and there, but I was just like, nothing's getting stronger. I don't know if I've just jumped ahead of myself. Have I made a wrong call here? One of the signs that made me think something was up is throughout that day I was having another TMI moment, brace yourself. I was having quite a bit of bloody discharge, and I hadn't had that with my other two sons, so I was a little bit wary that something was wrong or that it wasn't normal. I was texting my midwife throughout the whole of Wednesday, and I said to her, I've got some bloody discharge, is this normal? I would send her photos of it, and it's not like she hasn't seen this stuff before, guys. She's a midwife, she's done it hundreds of times. She texted back, that's normal, that's part of the process, you are in labour. So I was like, okay, good, that's a relief. So I was happy that I was in labour that day. And from there, I really wasn't sure like what to do throughout the day. I thought, well, do I sleep? Do I walk around? What do I do? So I was asking my midwife, and she was like, go for a walk, have something to eat, just hang out with Isaac, because he had stayed home that day just in case anything did progress. We thought we'd try walking around like Lowe's, and I think TJ Maxx we went to as well. And even within that walking period, short amounts, I had to stop because I was having contractions. That nothing was progressing, nothing was picking up, but sure enough, I would have to stop, lean against the car in the car park and be like, okay, there's a contraction, you know, that kind of thing. So I think 3 o'clock or maybe 2:30, a contraction got stronger, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a bit more painful than before. I had another contraction, it was very painful, and I was like, okay, I think you really need to start timing these because this could be it, hun. So he timed it, and sure enough, 5 minutes later I got another really strong one, and I was like, okay, 3 contractions, that's enough for me to know that we're on a roll here, something's going to happen. I texted my midwife again, and I was like, okay, we're going to head out to the home that we're birthing at because, yeah, I think this is it. And so she said, okay, I'll meet you there in 45 minutes because the drive there took 30 minutes. I didn't want to risk anything happening in advance. I had learnt my lesson with Lincoln. My first one, my water actually broke at home, and I could feel him coming out as we were driving to the hospital. It was not a good time. So thankfully this was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was light out, like it was a good time for everybody. It wasn't an inconvenient, oh, everybody has to wake up kind of thing. 30 minutes drive, it was agony around every corner. I just had to say to my husband, okay honey, take this corner slow because these contractions are painful. It was kind of a windy like country road as well. So by the time we got to the house, my midwife was there, her assistant was there, and everybody had kind of set things up. Given this is kind of like a stranger's house, but we had met her before, she was super sweet, super open to us giving birth there. She had her room set up, and the bathroom was ready. She was just so sweet about it. So we got there, and I laid on the bed, and I asked my midwife to check how far I was, and she said, yep, you're about 8 centimeters. And I was like, yes, perfect timing again, you know, given I'm dealing with a midwife, no pain relief, and how quickly my labors progress, I wouldn't have time to have pain relief anyways. I've never had a water birth. I don't know if I'm even going to try. I really wanted one with my other two, but let's just see if it works out this time. So they ran the bath, and I ended up getting in, and I think in my mind I was only really expecting to labor in it because I didn't quite understand like the logistics of how a baby is born into water, because to me I'm like, wouldn't they just drown? But no, babies are amazing, and they basically go from fluid to fluid, and you know, and by the time they come out, they take their first breath. I got in the bath, and it was about half an hour. Contractions were getting strong, things were happening, and oh man, like I feel like I'm just reliving it in my head because it's pretty fresh, like it's only 10 days ago. But if anybody that's given birth, it's not an easy process. It's very painful, especially if you do it all natural. You don't have any pain relief. It's even more painful. So man, I'm just trying to like recount everything and relive everything without scarring myself. Again, TMI, when you're in a bath, it gets grotty because all sorts of stuff is coming out even before the baby is born. So I think the turning point of really relief and really knowing that he was coming and that I could do this was when I felt the pop and my water broke, the bath changed color, and I was like, yes. And I felt a sense of relief, like I was near the end. His head starts coming down, and I start mentally hitting a block as well. I just felt like I couldn't do it anymore, so I just really needed some Jesus help because I was struggling. So I asked my husband to put some worship on. He did, and it felt like it just helped me get through those last few contractions and pushes of pushing my son out. He came out into the water basically. My midwife caught him. I had amazing encouragement from my husband, my midwife, and her assistant. Only 3 people there with us. It was so personal and amazing, and when he came out, she put him straight to my chest. He was covered in this goo that I'd never seen on my other 2 because they were born in a hospital. They take them away, they rub them off, and then they give them back to you for skin to skin. This one was just instantly put on me and all the gunk and everything, and I just held him and I was crying, and I think he only let out one little cry and he was perfectly chilled and happy, and it was a really, really special, amazing experience of just having him here, which I was so nervous about giving birth in a foreign country. This experience was so different to a hospital because I got to see everything. They showed me my placenta, and they even poked around at it and showed me all the like little bits and pieces of how it nourished the baby and what side it was on for me, and all sorts of stuff that I was just initially like, oh, that's gross, but actually quite amazing. I was able to see a lot more through this birth experience. So they helped me out of the bath. That was really difficult. I couldn't even stand up. It was so weird. From half an hour ago I could easily get into the bath, and now I couldn't stand up. It was strange. We had to wait for my placenta to come away first. It took a little bit of time because we thought, okay, it's not coming away, when actually it was just sitting there. I think I had already pushed it out with the baby. We're not quite sure how that worked, but it just came away. I got on the bed, and because you're in somebody else's house, you have to be quite careful of the mess and the blood. There's quite a lot of blood, especially after you give birth. So I was there, and she just made sure everything was okay. She had a look, she checked, and she was like, not a scratch. He didn't damage you at all. I mean, we're day 10 and I was out day 4. Like, I have mentally thought that I can do anything because there was no damage done by this kid at all. Like, it was perfection basically. Water birth and no damage. And on top of that, I lost really, really minimal blood. So the whole process was great. He's getting a little bit fussy now, so I'm just gonna hold him up. She checked him, everything was fine. And we were out in about 3 hours. It was awesome. And then also the lady who owned the house, she was there with, I think, like her grandkids and all these kids. And so I didn't realize how many people were actually in her house, and it was a pretty decent sized house, so it didn't bother me. I didn't hear anything. They didn't hear anything from me, so it was all good. When I went out, she was just holding him, and then there were like 10 other kids in the room, and it was their living room, and it was so amazing for the commotion. And I just got a real sense of like, man, oh, excuse me, oh, I just got a real sense of, well, this is what she loves. She's just got a heart for kids, and it was so sweet to see her holding him and just really, it was almost like there was this mutual, she was grateful that we were there and we were able to birth at her house. So it was an amazing, amazing experience. And everybody kind of looks at me like, why do you go that route, especially here in the States? I wouldn't have it any other way, and if I do have a 4th, that's how it's gonna be. Okay, so now that we're on day 10 of having this little guy, it's basically been what I expect out of a newborn. It's been a lot of feeding, a little bit restless at night, and at this stage he's kind of cluster feeding, so he's very attached to me. He doesn't really want to be put down or anything at this point. In the beginning he just slept, and it was amazing. We've just been leaving him in his boppy and his baby lounger and just moving it around the house, so that's been really great. Hey, just up looking at me. I want you guys to meet my baby, my 3rd baby boy. We have named him Easton Elliot. And Easton was an old family name from my husband's. It was a surname that goes back a couple of generations. We didn't know this when we agreed on the name, but that kind of made it a little bit more special. And then Elliot is after my husband's middle name, so we thought we'd just carry on his middle name. Again, it was also a surname in his family. I think it was his grandmother's maiden name. Oh dear, one of my boys. Okay, my husband can deal with that. This is Easton Elliot. He was born at 4:39 in the afternoon. He was born on September 4th. Weighed a very, very reasonable and healthy 7 pounds 1.5 ounces, so he was a very good size. He was actually my smallest baby, believe it or not. My others were in the 7s, but they were slightly bigger, so Easton is definitely my smallest. Came at an amazing time with an amazing experience, amazing people around me. It's been really, oh bless you, it's been really, really great this time around. So thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me and Easty Boo. Can you say hi? Oh, hello. He's giving you guys a yo, what up? To my family and friends back in New Zealand, we miss you guys. Thank you so much for all the love and support I've gotten from everyone. It's been amazing. So again, thank you guys so much for watching and join me in my next video, and I will see you later. Bye.